Hey guys, Basement Horrors here. Today you'll hear some truly frightening tales of horror that have actually happened to real people. So sit back and relax, and prepare to hear these true horror stories. Number 1. Guy barges in. From Thompson Megan 20 on Reddit. Two of my roommates had gone to visit someone at another college for the weekend, and the other was out at a party with her sorority sisters, so I was home alone. I didn't mind being alone. I was looking forward to watching TV and had planned to play The Sims. For background, our apartment was on the first floor and the door opened out into a common yard area. With my one roommate walking in and out throughout the evening, the door wasn't locked. It was normal for us to leave it unlocked as long as someone was home. It was probably around 9 or 10 p.m. on a Friday night. I was sitting in the living room couch watching TV and playing Sims. I hear some yelling outside, which is normal for a weekend night in a college town apartment complex. Then a very drunk and or high guy just walks into my apartment. I was a little stunned and thought that maybe he just walked into the wrong apartment, which does occasionally happen. However, people usually knock and don't just barge in. I tell him he has the wrong apartment and to get out, and he just keeps staring at me, and then he puts his finger to his mouth, making the shush noise when I tell him to leave. I was in a very bad position to get up. I had my computer in my lap, I had blankets on me, and the footrest was up. I had a knife in my room, and I was trying to think how I could get to that or something else to protect myself with. I kept telling this guy that he needs to leave and that he isn't in the right apartment, and he just keeps shushing me. Then he opens the closet door that's like a step or two from the front door, and it was jammed full of crap, and he tries to climb in, saying he was going to hang out in there. This guy was giving me the creeps on all levels, and he seemed so out of it that I think he didn't know what he was going to do next. I finally throw the stuff off my lap, and I'm standing in the middle of the room, and I loudly tell him that if he didn't leave, I was going to call the cops. He tries to argue with me on that, but I just keep repeating it. Finally he leaves, and I slam the door shut behind him and turn the deadbolt and put the chain on the door. He then starts throwing chairs on our front porch around, and for half a second, I thought he was going to throw it at the window. He then ran off, and I did call the police. Needless to say, I didn't sleep too well that night. Number 2. Druggie with an Axe by OwlsADream2 on Reddit. I work at a convenience store in a bad area, and I see a lot of odd people, so it's not uncommon to be alone in the store with someone who's acting oddly. I'm 24 years old, a female, and I've never had too bad of an experience working night shift at the job. Only the occasional threat or sexual remark, but usually smooth sailing. The other night, though, was very different when I met a druggie with an axe. This dude came in to buy his cigs and whatever else. He was slapping his arms with this weird bamboo shaft and laughing. God knows where he found that. He points the shaft towards my face and says, "Bang!" and laughs. I just stare at him, not knowing exactly how to respond, and continue to check him out. He exits my store and enters his car. I'm watching this strange man with his bamboo because I wanted to make sure that he left. He gave me a bad feeling, and I wanted to see him leave. 10 minutes pass, still there. 20, still there. Then he starts throwing bags of hypodermic needles out of his car window and a bunch of other stuff. I go out there to tell him that he needs to leave. His response, "Chill, woman, I'm going," still throwing out trash and other items from his car. I informed him that I was going to call the police and that he had a minute to start his car and leave. He lunged to the back of his car and was looking for something, screaming, "Where is it?" I was watching him shuffle through the hordes of items in the back of his car. What stuck out to me was that he had a bow and arrows and a broken metal pipe in his back seat. He starts to get out of the car with an axe. I knew that I had to back off, or this man might try to hit me with an axe. He got out of the car with his axe, and I ran inside my store to call 911. I pushed the shade down so he couldn't see me, but I'd be able to see him. He started screaming at me to face him like a man, and he was waving his axe around. I'm on the phone with 911 operator, ready to shit myself, when this crazy tweaker took the axe to his own car, to his trunk or rear one time, and just stopped and stared at the car. He stood there in silence for a full minute, and jumped into the car and took off. 30 minutes later, he was arrested at a gas station down the street. I talked to the cops about what happened at my store and gave him my info. So far, no word. I'm not sure what happened to him or the events at the other gas station, but this experience made me quit my job. I don't ever want to meet a drugged out maniac with an axe again, obviously. Number 3. My father was chased by a killer by Marvelous Mem. This is my father's story. As a child, my father was a paperboy, and he would get up very early in the morning to deliver the papers. My father would always end up with a few extra papers at the end of his route, so he would offer papers to other early birds leaving for work and whatnot. On this day, my father offered a man who was sitting in a parked van. The man just stared at my dad and didn't respond, so my dad just went on his way. As my dad was walking away, he heard a car door open and the sound of feet hitting pavement. He turned around and saw the man running after him. My dad was very athletic in his day, and he played baseball and basketball, so he took off running. The man chased him for a bit, but my dad knew the neighborhood like the back of his hand, and he cut through backyards and hopped fences. He eventually lost the man and got home safely. He didn't tell his parents because he figured that they would make him quit his job. A few weeks passed by, and 2 local boys went missing, and their bodies were found at a campground. They had been raped and then shot in the head. The man who committed these awful crimes was William J. Wright. When my father saw him in the newspaper, he recognized him as the man who chased him. Down in the description of this video, there will be a link to an article about these murders. Number 4. Not the Neighborhood Welcome Committee by Hot Blue Glue. This happened almost 5 years ago when my husband and I had just moved into our current home. It was our first week in the new place. I had just graduated from grad school and was looking for work. Our house is small but has 2 stories with both bedrooms and a bathroom upstairs. It's also a back house which faces an alley, and our landlord and his wife live in the front house. My husband was heading out the door one morning to go to his job, then he quickly returned inside. "Did you try to remove a screen from a window downstairs?" he asked. I was confused and told him no. He then asked me to come outside, so I got dressed quickly and followed him out. The screen covering a large window downstairs was bent at a sharp angle, like someone had tried to push it up from the bottom. The freakiest thing was that there was a clear, prominent handprint on the glass, like the would-be intruder had tried to push up and open the window. Luckily, all of our downstairs windows have wooden rods wedged at the top half to physically prevent them from being opened very much. Analog security saved the day. We also found another window screen that appeared to be cut open slightly at the corner. We called the cops, who came out and dusted the handprint, but nothing ever came of it. Smash and grab break-ins during the middle of the workday, when most folks weren't home, weren't uncommon in our neighborhood at the time, but what chilled me was that our would-be intruder had opted to try and break in during the middle of the night when we were both home and sound asleep. My car was in the driveway right by the broken window screen and handprint, so the person had to have known someone was home at the time they tried to get inside the house. It was a bold move, albeit a stupid one, since they almost left a perfect handprint on the window. Dear would-be intruder, I never even met you, but I know that I never want to. Hey guys, Basement Horrors here, and I do hope that you enjoyed the video, because after months and months of not uploading, or only uploading 1 or 2 videos every month or so, I want to come back strong with good videos, so let me know down in the comments what you thought of it. Also, if you have any personal stories, send them to my Gmail, basementhorrors@gmail.com. Anyway, there should be another video either this week or next week. Not sure if I want to do 1 or 2 videos a week. Anyway, have a horrific day.